You know, it's a podcast when we're talking about Bull Durham. JT, how are you?
I'm awesome. Are you kidding me? Get to hang out with you guys?
And I said JT first. Hal's here too. What's up, Hal? How are you
It's
doing?
because our rotations changed.
We did. We changed our rotation.
He's the leadoff hitter now.
Throwing you
He is. Oh,
I'm
leadoff.
on deck.
the
So
boss should always come first.
That's true. All right. Well, maybe we'll reset it next time. Bobby, how are you?
I'm well.
You're to my far left.
Yeah.
I am.
And then Mr. Kingman, you're on camera now too.
Yay.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
Lucky everybody.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we had a conversation, so I just rolling in there. We're super excited about this one.
Yes. It's
We're
fun.
we're talking about San Luis Obispo County.
Right.
And not just real estate. What are we doing?
We're talking about communities.
Yeah.
We're just
Yeah.
talking about people coming to town. They don't know everything. And even like somebody that's been here 5 years, we were just talking about is going to downsize now by themselves was a couple. And I don't even know what is in these areas, right? So we wanted to highlight the county, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, I look around the table. We all live in a different part of the county.
Exactly.
So this will
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk
should
about
be.
what
Hey,
why we like.
What each city has.
I have a fun exercise for this.
Oh, please. Let's do it.
We do this on our radio show from time to time. How long you've lived here, and what's one thing you've heard a lot of people talk about that you've never experienced for yourself?
Ooh.
That's easy.
Then you go first, Mr. Swayze.
What was the question again?
How long
What-
you've lived here,
yeah.
and the one thing that you hear a lot of people talk about, but you've never done it.
Oh, yeah. A lot of things I've never done. So 84 to today, what is that, about 40 years?
Wow.
That's exactly.
Wow.
40,
Yeah,
isn't
Cal
it?
Valley 84. Yeah.
Nice.
Although I drove through when I was about 10 or 11 and stopped where Frank's is in San Luis Obispo, was the Arctic Circle on the way to Lake Nacimiento. And I
that
remember
cold,
getting the hot dogs there. And they were not as good as they are now.
Yeah. Of course.
So 40 years, that is that right? 40? 84 today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means I'm older than 40. Okay. And then, gosh, I have not done the light shows in like Paso and Cambria.
Which we can say
The holiday one?
names.
Or
Yeah,
the-
yeah, yeah.
or-
So the Sensorio
you're-
thing you're talking
yeah.
about?
Oh yeah, you know I haven't. I live in Paso. And I haven't.
Yeah. But that's fairly recent, Hal. Hey, let's talk. That's something older. That's fairly recent.
Give me a minute.
light show.
What else I've missed out in life, basically,
Yeah,
is what we're talking about.
basically.
I'm going to skip
Yeah.
to, let me think about what else I missed out.
I have one. So
What
I've,
is it?
I've been here at the coast since 2008.
Okay.
I have never gone kayaking.
Oh,
And I lived in Cayucas and Morro Bay for 10 plus years.
yeah.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Here, I've never gone kayaking here.
You know the problem?
Yeah.
You don't have a.
I don't have a kayak.
Yeah.
I did have two actually at one time.
You had two kayaks and you still.
I did. They were Costco buy, and it was
Wow.
a thing. It was a thing
So
that
follow through
that never
also an issue for you.
apparently. Yeah. we can take that one for a long time.
James,
Yeah.
those of us over a certain weight limit have a tough time getting a kayak.
Buoyancy was an issue for sure. For sure. Yeah. So kayaking, I've been here a long time. It's probably been a year since I've touched the sand. I don't know. Remember
Yeah.
the last time I went to the ocean?
Never eaten at Jocko's. There it is.
man.
I've never eaten at
That,
Jocko's.
that was mine, Hal. You
Oh,
stole
man.
mine.
Oh.
Yeah, but I've only been here since 2006.
Yeah.
and everybody talks about Jocko's, and I haven't found a
Let's
reason to go
together.
down there.
You and I will go together.
We should.
Okay.
We should.
There we go. It's a date.
Okay. Jocko's
time.
Bobby, JT, what do you guys got?
Go ahead, Bobby.
Okay, well, I've lived in South County since 2013. Grew up in North County and then was in the Bay for about 5 years. So, a few of the things I haven't done. I've never done Avila Lighthouse. I feel like a lot of people do that.
Oh, the hike out there?
Is it? Oh, that's why.
Right.
If it's a
Well-
hike, that explains it. There you go.
Well,
walk out there?
I haven't done that
So bad
either.
anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, so you haven't taken the shuttle to the Avila Lighthouse. No.
So, what hospital were you born in San Luis
So
County?
I was actually born at home
Okay.
Yes.
from
Wow.
Good.
some
So that
original hippie.
that explains it, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
So-
it's gonna get weird now.
You're the first person I've ever met, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I hate that when I'm talking to people that weren't even born when I came here to college. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm
right.
trying to think of what else.
So
yeah.
the
there's all sorts of
lighthouse.
stuff.
You're not a
Oh, I've
lighthouser?
never been wine tasting here. Ever.
What?
I've never
Whoa.
gone on a wine tasting tour. I mean, I've been to a winery, but never
What's the
done tasting.
closest winery to Jocko's?
Oh, you're asking somebody that
person.
only knows North County.
Jocko's?
That's the reason why I haven't been
Well,
to
there's
Jocko's.
some on the way.
Letitia?
Edna
There-
Valley.
Yeah, Edna Valley.
We'll find one. Okay, so we got that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we can drop, we can go with James into Shell Beach, kayak. Okay, good. And then JT, make it easy.
I was born in this county. Born in the old French hospital on Marsh Street in San Luis Obispo.
That is
Of
awesome.
course, I was born way before any of the rest of you. And you know what I've never done in this county? Well, I've never done it on a boat. I've never been whale watching. I whale watch from my front deck, but never
I've
been out on a boat.
I've been whale watching.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to go to Shell Beach, rent some kayaks, look for whales, come back, stop at Letitia, and then
Drink
go to
some wine.
Jocko's.
There
we
you
drink
go.
wine before we go
Yeah.
out on a boat. There may be a problem with that.
Because I didn't want to put the light show
I
in
mean,
the middle of
that's
that.
just an afternoon too. There's not a lot of investment that we have, time investment that we have.
Yeah.
to do.
That's what's so cool.
We have not
That's
all been to
awesome.
Harry's together, I bet.
You and I have
So
been to Harry's
I-
together, Hal.
Oh, that one
Al, who
time.
haven't
we
you been
have.
to Harry's?
Yeah.
With. No, we haven't done it together.
Okay.
So what have
Together.
you done? I've never been to Harry's with this group.
There you go.
I've never been to Harry's.
So explain
What?
to the listeners what Harry's is and where is it?
Well, I've only been there once, so I don't remember what it is.
That's similar to my experience.
Are we going to talk about real estate?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Kingman.
Let's do it.
Kingman.
Kingman.
So we were gonna talk about the reason why people like to live in the areas.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Where do you want to start on the south and work north?
Let's.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
So one of us in the room lives. Can we name the 5 cities? By the way,
I can.
yeah,
I
go
can,
for it.
I can name 2 of them.
So it's Grover Beach, Oceano, Shell Beach, Pismo Beach.
No. Sorry. No.
No, he's right.
I'm
so
right.
far.
Let him
Shell
finish.
Beach is
Shell Beach is part of the 5 cities.
Part of Pismo. Doesn't
Yeah,
count.
yeah, but it was always included in the 5
Yeah.
cities.
So it's
Oh.
Shell Beach, Pismo Beach, Grover Beach, Pismo Beach, Oceano.
You just said Pismo Beach twice.
Uh,
Okay, that's 7
Oro
cities.
Grande.
yeah,
I say it
Road-
twice?
You missed a road
See,
Grande
I-
the first
AG.
go round.
Yeah.
I've heard differently. I've heard that Halcyon is included in the 5 cities.
No, that must be.
it's
Now
Shell.
we're up to 10 cities.
Shell, Pismo, AG,
Yeah.
Oceano,
Grover.
and Grover.
Napomo's not one of the 5
Napomo's
cities.
not
no,
a 5 city.
Palma was never
No,
one
it's
of
Too
the
far
5.
away
Yeah.
from the.
What do you think?
Okay, all right, Bobby, you're looking at me like
I
I'm
want
wrong.
to. Well, I want to Google it only because when I first moved here, I got corrected on this many times.
Well, you know what we're doing right now?
I'm
We are
Googling
losing
right now.
credibility as
Yeah.
a resource for the county.
So, Bobby, you live
I live in
one
Shell
of
Beach.
the 5 cities.
yeah.
Yes.
Regardless of which one, you live in one.
There you go.
So what about, living down in the south part of our county is really great for you guys?
I love the weather. I grew up in Atascadero, so for me getting to I could live in the fog every single day. I really like it. The food, I like the food down there. What you're wrong.
I was wrong. I'm wrong.
He's
I see it on the
He looked
screen.
it on the
You
okay.
can't-
Yeah, it is.
I can't focus with you
it's
glaring
Halcyon.
at me.
No
there's only-
kidding.
Yeah,
There's no
it's
one
Pismo, Grover, AG, Oceano, and Halcyon. I thought it was Shell Beach.
I thought so too.
It's the weirdest. It's the weirdest thing
The guy
because
from
when you
Passaic
drive
gets
by
it.
Halcyon, you're like, how is that considered one of the 5?
To be fair, I never knew what the 5th one was. I just knew Shell Beach wasn't it.
Well, I'm going to keep it as Shell Beach.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes
should
more
have
sense.
its own.
Hey,
Do we
you found
have-
it on the internet?
I did.
I don't believe everything I see.
The
on
interweb. Yeah.
We do have low listenership in Halcyon, I think. So it's
Yeah.
okay if you're dissing them.
Nobody
Shell Beach.
cares.
Yeah, it's
So-
better to include Pismo Beach
So,
I-
twice.
Bobby, you
I
love the
didn't do it.
fog, and
I
you
don't-
love eating in the fog. It sounds
We've
like
got
too.
some good restaurants. We have
Yeah.
Ember down there. We love that, and it's the little village of Shell Beach is really a special place because it feels very small town. You're on the 101. You can get everywhere pretty quick. You have the beach vibe. It's very laid back. But it's got such a sweet energy to all the neighbors knowing each other and just
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels very storybook to me. Till the kids
Wow.
can walk to school. It's great.
That does sound great. When I think of South County, I think of maybe one of the fastest growing areas in our county, and that's Napomo. I know none of us live in Napomo, but you handle some deals there.
Oh, yeah, a lot.
Yeah, and at one time they were talking about building 14,000 houses in Napomo. I think they've kind of backed off of that big a goal, but it still is a growth area for us, right?
Yeah, I mean, for the outsider thinking of real estate, in Napomo, you get some acreage, right? You get cool weather, some wonderful golf courses down in Napomo. There's a steakhouse down there. I forget. I've never been.
Somebody
Are we going to get paid for this?
people
I
talk
know.
about it all the time.
Yeah. So, and entry level wise, in terms of pricing, it's one of the more reasonable places to get a home, right in Napomo. So, a lot going on there.
So I know we're not talking about North County. We'll get there, but it looks like the farther you go away from the county seat, which is the city of San Luis Obispo, whether you go to Paso or to Napomo, the prices start to
Yeah.
get a little bit lower,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's more affordable for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I tell you, I love, the Shell Beach, the village, has really come a long way.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's cool,
Yeah.
right? There's a lot of things, a lot of
used
nice
to be
restaurants and
funky.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, funky.
Yeah.
And I love the village of AG, right? And if I'm talking to people, why do I like AG? I love the village. The neighborhoods there are wonderful, and I love East AG. You know, as you get out there, because the climate's so nice. You're close to the ocean,
Yep.
and there's a lot of little canyons up there with tons of trees. And you know, if you have a little bit of property, but you're close to that town, which is just it's a great little downtown. I love it. I love the chickens walking down there, and we used to have an office in the village. It was great. Yeah.
And you do a lot of business in South County. Right?
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. And Arroyo Grande, boy, they have really caught up with SLO price-wise.
Quickly.
I mean, there's almost
It's
no
true.
differential anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got its own fans. I mean,
Yeah.
you have people who could choose from both, and they're choosing to go there because
Yep.
of the lifestyle. It's,
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
So as we're moving up the 101, we move from Pismo and Shell Beach, and we go past the off-ramp to Avila. Is Avila a market unto itself, or do you kind of lump in Avila with the city of San Luis?
I'd put it on its own. Yeah.
It's specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's two parts to Avila, right? So you got downtown, the beach,
Yeah.
right? So close to the water, great weather. You know, my kids had junior lifeguards down there. You can go kayaking, James, if you ever try.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
The pier and the little town is adorable. And it just, on the weekends, it goes crazy with tourists in the
Right.
summer.
Yeah.
And then during the
Busy.
week, there's like 6 people there.
It's so nice.
Right.
The mornings there
Yeah.
are like magical.
And then the harbor is phenomenal. And then you got the whole area where we had, you know, a company and had an office for a while before COVID. And that's the gated area, which is just a mixture of beautiful places.
Yeah.
1,000 acres, 600 houses.
What do you call that area?
San Luis Bay Estates.
Okay,
right?
so that's adjacent to the San Luis Village there?
Yep.
Yeah, I had an office there for 10 years.
Oh, that's right. You were there.
And I thought that area had the best weather of the county.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I
I
love the
would
weather
agree.
there.
100%.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the little Woodstone Market there, the
Yep.
Avila Bay Club is
Yep.
nice. The bike path, you know, along the creek, phenomenal.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. That's where the kids learn to ride. Yep.
And then so many different choices within the gated area and then the beach. Yeah.
And they do a little farmers market, don't they? Like the whole
Downtown Av- yep.
Super
Yeah.
fun on
Yep.
Friday
Yeah.
nights.
Right.
Yeah, we
Right.
love Avila.
We love Avila. I
Great
do
weather.
love Avila.
You know what? I've always, when I was working there, I always thought, what would it be like? What would my lifestyle be like if I owned my own golf cart and got to drive down into the city, you know, the beach area of Avila and go to dinner? And I would think that would be an awesome lifestyle.
Yeah.
Do you think it'd be okay if I just give one negative thing about it's just a personal thing about Avila for
Go
me?
for it.
It freaks me out a little bit that there's only one way in and one way out.
I was thinking the same thing.
A little bit.
Really?
You know, it's a
Okay.
great place to be. You know,
Right.
I don't know if I'd want to live there because of that. I don't know.
Well,
There's
people
two-
that
there's
live
two
there
ways.
in 2023 experienced that
Yeah.
fear that you have
Yeah.
when they
There's-
were
it's
locked out there.
one way
for
in.
There's
a week.
two ways. You can drive or you can get in a boat.
Yeah, that's true.
So
If you have a boat.
interesting story about officing in Avila. Many years ago, there was an earthquake, I think, in Japan. And the big organization that I work for, I broke a record. I'm the only office in the history of my old organization to be evacuated due to a tsunami warning.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Yeah,
Because that creek can come.
Yeah.
Yeah. The water comes up.
yeah. I thought that was kind of
Yeah, Avila.
that little bit of trivia there.
Stuck. You better.
I
have
love
a boat.
Avila.
I love
First
Avila
beach
too.
I ever went to in my life.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, and
born
they,
in San
they
Louis.
redid it. When did they redo Avila? Because when
Oh,
I was
it's
a
been a
kid,
while.
it was not.
Oh, mid
The 90s
90s
for the oil
Okay.
spill. Yeah.
Yeah. It was after we
they
moved
put
back.
a lot
I
of.
was at an advisory committee meeting once, and they were talking about how to handle the flow of traffic down that road, concerts and that sort of thing, because it gets pretty, it can be pretty backed up.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, you know what? What if you had a little boat that went from like a trolley? What are the kind of boats where you go across
Ferry.
A ferry from like the Pismo Pier to the Avila Pier.
Yeah.
There you go.
I go,
See, I told
how
you,
cool would that
2 ways
be?
out.
You could kayak, you
too
could
rough.
whale watch,
Well,
you
you'd
could
have-
wine taste,
Drink the whole
and you could
time.
have a Jocko steak if they had food on. it.
Right.
Yeah.
It could be like a fun little tiny, for those that want to.
Well, I guess you
make
could
it
go
like a
into the
booze
bay.
cruise.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump back on the freeway and head north.
Business.
Keep us
Wait
rolling.
a minute.
I like that idea. Hal.
Wait a minute. That was the last time I got invited to an advisory committee.
Might be the last time you get invited to a podcast. too.
Wow.
Okay.
Who's the boss here, JT?
Running it.
Hey, so let's move north and how you're the only one of us that live in San Luis. I did for many
guess so.
years, but
Yep.
I mean, what about San Luis that you just love?
Yeah, I mean, I love, the downtown is great. I've got a lot of social connections here, which is nice.
Yes, you do.
Place to mountain bike and hike. And yeah, I like the weather here. Like, I love Cayucas, but it's cold, right? For me.
You.
I love the ocean. I love the
Yeah.
downtown. I love Avila, that
Yeah.
sort of thing. But, I'm still busy working. If I didn't have a career and a business that I love doing, I would spend more time visiting those little towns and the beaches.
Well, so SLO is the hub, right? I mean, you can pretty much get anywhere that we're talking about within 30 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
well,
Yeah.
and then, yeah.
Yeah, so,
and so
it's
like,
central.
right. And so, like, if I want to go watch an event, sports, or, go to the PAC at Cal Poly, that's awesome.
Yep.
Go downtown, catch a movie. I just love the energy of the town, so
There's a lot more shopping now. I'll just say.
shopping. Yeah.
It is our county seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, San Luis is probably just a little bit more energy,
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
if you're from out of the area, a lot of the medical is here, but we also have Templeton and AG. But, if you want to be close to major medical centers, we've got a lot of that.
Yeah.
Why do you look at me when you say medical?
I was looking at everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I think being the oldest person in the room, I love being around the young people that Cal Poly brings to the community.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
that's a plus and a minus for sure.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
depends if you live next
You
door.
don't want to live there.
to
Yeah. I mean,
the party house. That
Yeah.
may not be a plus,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but just having the
It's a
young people in the community to me is a big plus.
And the majority of them are great.
Yeah.
There's just always going to be.
And think of what Cal Poly does to the economy of
Right.
not only the
Sure.
county but the city for sure. Huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, kids get a bad rap, but some of us were those kids
Yeah.
at one point anyway. Yeah.
Now it is true though how if you look at the real estate market in the county that aside from maybe a couple of the beach communities, this is the priciest of the cities,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, it is. I mean, and there's a lot to offer real estate wise, and we haven't talked as much about that. Probably should, but Avila has different little communities and lots of choices. San Luis does houses, condos, a little bit some acreage properties, that sort of thing. So there's a lot going on here for sure. Yeah.
Wasn't San Luis voted like the
Happiest.
happiest place, like the top 5 in the country? at
Fifth. Yeah. Top 5.
Yeah.
You know
And
what
no
number
fast
1
food,
is?
right? The no drive-through.
Well, there's fast food
Well,
and
there's
no
fast food,
drive-throughs.
no drive-through.
No drive.
But you can DoorDash for sure.
I can get a smoothie in
You can get a
16
smoothie.
minutes if
Yeah.
I want to delivered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know
Some
what
of us do that.
You know what the happiest places on the planet is?
Disneyland.
This is told me the country, like the area.
Oh.
San Luis is number 5.
Okay.
Oh, no, it was best weather. I'm sorry, not the happiest. Best weather. San Luis is like number 5 for
Oh.
best weather on the planet. One person's opinion, right? Some study. The
San Diego?
Canary Islands.
Canary Islands.
Go figure.
Wow.
I know somebody went there. They said it's great. So anyway, that's outside the county. So I'm going to step back from that conversation.
You kind of took a left there. That's okay.
I take a lot of those. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going north then.
Santa Margarita.
You guys live in the North County.
We do.
You and Jeff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jeff loves it.
James doesn't.
James loves it. What are you talking about?
I do. It's okay. I loved Shell Beach. I lived in Shell Beach, and I just love the climate. I'm a polar bear. I like the cooler weather. I came from the valley, and it was hot. It was cold.
Yeah.
I hate extreme weather.
Yeah.
So Shell Beach is like a little bit more level for me. I like the area, and it's kind of what we talked about earlier. So
Yeah.
But it
I'm
is
just
more
more of a
affordable
Shell-
than Shell Beach.
It
right?
is. Yeah. Oh, I mean, of course.
So that's a
course.
real positive about,
That's a positive.
about North
yeah.
County.
I have a much bigger place than I
Yeah.
did in Shell Beach.
Yeah.
So, but I'll be back there.
My kids go to school down in San Luis Obispo, and I also work in San Luis Obispo, but we live in Paso Robles. And whenever I'm talking with friends of theirs' parents, they're like, oh, and then they come over because we have a pool and you can go swimming in the summertime in Paso Robles, and not always guaranteed in San Luis Obispo. In fact, often not guaranteed that you can go swimming in San Luis Obispo. So they'll come up and on a hot day and jump in the pool, and they're like, man, you get so much more for your money in Paso Robles than you do in San Luis Obispo.
Yep.
So affordability was a big driver for us to move up there because we lived in downtown SLO for 10 years in a rental. And I loved the fact that you could walk to wherever we needed to go. If we wanted to go hike Cerro San Luis
Yep.
or Madonna Mountain or whatever you want to call it, or go down to the farmer's market. We walked both places. It was great. And that's what I miss about that. But also, it's Paso Robles is pretty nice, especially in the last decade.
Oh,
It
yeah.
has improved greatly.
Yeah.
From what I remember when I moved here, my boss said to me, she goes, go to all the different communities around the area and see if you like any of them or if you'd like to live here. And it was on the job interview. And I drove through Paso Robles and I couldn't have got out of that town quicker. And then now I live there and I love it. So
It's come a long way
Yeah.
quickly.
Oh,
and
yeah.
speaking
It's
of
a
food,
great
they
place,
literally the best restaurants I think on the Central Coast are
Oh.
all in that little
Yeah, the level has been raised in Paso
big
with
time.
restaurants.
It's a
for
total
sure.
destination.
It's
now.
funny. I did a similar thing when I got in real estate, and I went up to an office in Paso, and I don't know if my car had air conditioning or not, but I got out of the car, and I'm a sweater, right? So I'm just going, oh no, I can't be talking to people like, So I didn't even go in an office. I think I came back down.
Turned around.
Right? So now I like it that I'm old. Right? Yeah, for sure.
I think Jeff makes a great point as to the evolution of Paso Robles in the entire North County. I mean, I remember when Templeton was 1,500 people, and what is it, 10,000 now, something like that, 8,000.
it's very close to that. Yeah.
But
Wow.
That's it?
That?
you-
I feel like it's more.
I think of Paso and the evolution of Paso itself. When I was in high school, Paso was 7,000 people. But, from where I was coming from, that was the big city.
Right?
And now you look at it, and what are we at, 30,000 or so in Paso today?
30,000.
Yeah.
And that's, weekends that turns into 50, 60,000.
Yeah, I'm going to make a prediction that there will be a time. I may not see it in my lifetime, but there will be a time when the population of Paso is greater than the population of San Luis.
Well, Templeton's 7965 as of 2020.
Yeah. But I mean, that wine industry, and you look at
Right.
Napa, and people come there, and the restaurants, and it's great. I mean, what's interesting about the North, I just like small downtowns, right? So I love Santa Margarita. I love Templeton, right? The downtowns.
Yeah.
And then you're surrounded again by large properties on acreage and rolling hills and oak trees. And Paso.
Yeah.
I mean, it has changed so much.
No love for a Tascadero, you guys.
Well, no, the Tascadero
No,
wasn't so
we're getting
good,
there.
but a
Coming along.
Tascadero has upped the game too. I mean,
Big
there's
time.
some nice,
Yeah.
There's some nice
outdoor
restaurants there.
seating.
Yeah.
Yep. They've
Ruby
come-
Cellars has a little tasting. That little corridor is, and I love. I mean, it's got the bones, right? Where Traffic Way comes in El Camino. I mean, it's got the framework to be it, but it's just
You know what I like about Atascadero is the historic homes, all those colony
Right,
homes.
colony homes, sure.
Oh my gosh! I mean, they're just they're beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean,
They have
We
some
we
big-
can say this about every community right now. I mean, this time of year, every year after the rains, our county looks like Ireland. The green
Oh, yeah.
hills, and to drive through Atascadero with the oak trees and the green hills. To me, it's just beautiful terrain.
Yep.
I love it.
So, JT, population of Paso was 31,000.
Wow.
What's the population? Anybody want to guess? Don't look at the screen.
Uh-huh.
What's the population of SLO?
47.
I would have said 45, but
I always have 42 because that's what it says on the sign.
Yeah.
By KSBY.
47,107.
But to make my point about population growth, I think the population of San Luis Obispo, again back when I was in high school, was probably nearing 40,000, and Paso was 7.
Yeah.
So you look at the growth in
Sure.
San Luis the last 50 years, and you fast forward another 50, and I'm going to predict Paso will be
Well,
bigger.
there's still so many places to go in Paso.
Right.
If
Yeah.
you look at all those,
Yeah.
so much beautiful open space. Yeah.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
so much
Room
potential.
for housing,
Room,
right?
yeah, room to grow.
I got 47,000. That can't include students.
Can't. No.
I mean, because there's 20,000 there. That doesn't mean
There's
this town's
there-
27.
There's 30,000 if you include Cuesta.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That makes sense.
Shall we move? Should we move to the ocean?
Yes,
Let's go north.
Up the
Yeah.
coast.
Yeah.
So when you think about the North Coast, what communities do you think about?
Morro Bay.
Cambria, Cayuga.
Los Osos.
Los Osos.
Los Osos, 4 communities.
Yep.
So
What do we call that? The
4 cities.
the 4 cities.
4 cities. Quad.
and we know
Quad. I was going to
all
call it the quad.
The quadrant.
Quad cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's in Iowa.
Quad
Yeah.
cities.
Yeah.
Iowa.
Yeah.
We are not going to be working for the chamber with
Yeah.
that kind of marketing name.
No, I go to Los Osos. I live in Cayucas, for the record. I go to Los Osos a few times a year, especially in the summertime, on Saturday afternoons. to go to a concert.
Oh, yeah.
An outdoor concert. And over the last 10 years of doing that, I see like, it sounds like, it feels like the demographics of Los Osos are shifting.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of younger families that, affordability wise, can't afford San Luis, but they can't afford Los Osos.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I see that community changing a bunch.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, my kids would live in. They would, if they had a choice, they'd probably live in Los Osos.
Yeah. And
There's a lot of outdoor activity. You know, you
Right.
got
Yeah.
the what's Fontana de Oro State Park,
Right.
dunes. I mean, they're beautiful out there,
Yeah.
right?
And potential, it's like if you want to start something to get in somewhere cheaper, but starting businesses, all that, people are choosing to go there because it's,
Yeah. I have a lot of clients who leave San Luis because it's got a little hustly bustly for them, and Los Osos is sleepier. Can I tell my favorite restaurant in Los Osos, or is that gonna? And we're gonna breach anything?
No, we've said restaurants already.
This
Okay.
is your
Oh,
business.
sorry.
Yeah, you can do whatever. Yeah.
That should have gone
I
through the
I don't care what
rules.
you
I mean,
say.
there's a lot of good restaurants in that, but now I forgot the name of it. La Casita.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Mexican
Yeah.
La
food.
Casita's
That's
good.
good.
Oh,
And the
yeah.
salsa.
I don't know the salt. The fat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, can you
Yeah.
move one more closer to me? Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
so we love Los Osos, and
Yeah.
we move north. We come into Morro Bay.
Morro Bay.
When you think
yeah.
of Morro Bay, what do you think?
The Rock.
The Rock.
3 stacks in a rock.
Yeah, three
Yeah.
stacks in a rock. It might just be in the future, just the Rock. Have you ever been sitting along the Embarcadero, having a meal or a drink, and you look at the bay and you go, this could be, on the East Coast. We could be in
Yeah.
Maine right now.
Right.
I mean, it just feels so cool. Or Oregon,
Yeah. That was the first place I moved to go to Cal Poly. I didn't realize the school was that far apart. It was far away, right?
It's not
and
that
it felt like, well, I mean, when you're a kid,
Yeah.
and you're driving,
When
you
you're
got
trying to
to park
go to
and something,
parties, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Lasted about 4 months, but I mean, yeah, it feels very northern to me because I'd spent a year before in San Diego before I ended up here.
and you think about affordability. A beach town that's affordable.
Yeah.
Is that the most affordable beach community we have in the county?
Well, Los Osos, I think would be.
Yeah, Morro Bay, Los Osos.
Okay.
Los Osos has also come way up.
Yeah.
There used to be a big differential,
Yeah.
and not so much, right?
They're catching up.
Yeah, but Morro Bay, I mean, a lot of my funnest friends live in Morro Bay. Yeah, and they're glad the Siren's there, right?
Yeah,
Restaurant
Siren's a
music.
good spot.
Yeah.
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 But it's a great place. It's not going to grow much, right? There's nowhere to build
There we
anything,
go.
right? So you're looking at it. It's not going to get real busy on the streets.
Can't get water. Or is that just Osos?
Water's tricky in
Water, yeah.
both places a little bit. Yeah.
Well, as you move up the coast, just another 4 miles, you hit Cayucas.
Yeah. Full disclosure,
Yeah,
you live
Cay-
there.
You live
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I love about
Posting your
Cayucas?
address, yeah.
You know what I love about Cayucas? To me, it's the last unspoiled beach town in California.
It's the coolest downtown ever. I love Cayucas.
And you think about the beach itself. That beach runs 6 miles. You can walk on the beach from the Rock to the pier in Cayucas.
Right.
I mean, how cool is that?
yeah.
And just it's a sleepy little town. I mean, we went out to dinner the other night, and we're coming home about 7:30, and they'd already rolled up the sidewalks at 7:30.
Right, right.
Love it.
I mean, it's just a sleepy little old beach town.
Yeah.
and I love it.
I love how wide the street is.
Yeah.
The main drag.
Yeah.
And the storefronts. It's
Perfect
awesome.
for parades.
Yeah,
Yeah.
illegal U-turns every day there.
Yes. They're not illegal there.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my mind.
So, JT, what would you say the biggest difference is between Pismo, Shell Beach, and Morro Bay, Cayucas?
Wow, that's a great question. I would say weather-wise, they're all pretty similar. I mean, you can't live by the ocean and not deal with the fog. So now Bobby would love all those foggy communities. I think we get a little less fog in Cayucas than in Morro Bay. That's my gut feeling.
Yeah, you do.
I think
I
you're
can be
right.
driving up there and I come around the corner and we got some sunshine. I just went through some fog
Yeah.
in Morro Bay.
It's not easy to get there. That's the thing.
Yeah.
To go to Cayucas, every time I go, I grew up going there. My grandparents lived there for years, and I so took it for granted. But every time it's like you have to go there on purpose. You don't go through there necessarily on like a typical trip. Like it's a destination.
Yeah,
Shell
we have a
Beach is
lot
on
of
101.
a lot of second homes, and so and a lot of them are from where you grew up over in the valley.
Yep.
And so are they residents or tourists or maybe a hybrid? So I don't think we have the hotels that Pismo has. So I don't think we have the weekend tourists.
Yeah.
We have the people that are coming over to their second homes with their families for the weekend.
Right.
The big difference is the 4th of July parade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4th of July in Pismo is dangerous, and in Cayucas, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just sleepy, and the
polar bear
it's just-
dip on New Year's.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
You know, for me, so I've lived in Cayucas, Morro Bay, and Shell Beach.
Right.
The only way I can describe it, sorry, JT, it's slow.
it is slow.
It's just
It's quiet.
relaxed. Everything shuts down early. Everybody drives slow. Everybody walks slow.
That doesn't mean he's slow.
Oh no!
You apologize.
when your next birthday starts with a 7, you
Yeah.
like slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just, you know, I enjoyed the going out and
Oh,
doing stuff, and
I'm-
a little busier in Shell Beach. I enjoyed that.
I going to Schooners and that little tiny saloon and looking at the ocean and having something to eat and drink is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know what I love too? I mean, you got the best oranges on the planet. The best avocados come from there.
Great
You know,
weather,
if you
yeah.
ever like whatever that ranch is,
I
where
mean,
you get
Haas?
the beet. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Haas, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they got glass farms out there, and then the place where we get our grass-fed ribeye. I forget what that place is called. My kids would kill me that I forgot. But anyway, it's just it's a cool spot. Yeah.
And then we go up to Cambria.
Yeah.
I
Harmony,
mean,
Cambria.
Cambria. That's
Oh.
we
The
could have
debate.
that argument that we probably
Well,
won't
if you're
solve.
Hal,
What?
yeah.
Well, if
Say
your
it
house,
first, Hal.
Cambria,
Looks like-
yeah,
What did I
Cambria.
call
He's
it?
so committed to this.
It's
Cambria.
Cambria.
Calm.
What is it?
Cambria.
That's what I call it.
No, you said Cambria or
I didn't say
Cambria.
Cambria.
Cambria. You said
Cambria or Cambria.
Now I don't even know.
My in-laws live in Cambria, and so I'm up there fairly often. And you know, it's a great community. It's similar to Cayucas in that there's a lot of second homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people coming over to get out of the warmer weather into the cooler weather, and
Yeah.
And then you go north, and you're by San Simeon and Rocky, or what's it called, Ragged Point. I mean, it's
Oh,
that.
Sure.
I mean, that coastline is unbelievable. When I was a college kid, I used to windsurf and
And-
I'd drive up that drive, and it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's
The
great.
bluffs
it's
just
kind of-
past
it feels
Cayucas, all
almost
that.
like a mountain town mixed with having the beach,
Yes.
which is just what a combo.
Yeah.
Monterey light. Monterey
Light.
without the prices.
There you go.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a good
And to have Hearst Castle as a draw to our community.
Yeah.
How fantastic is that?
Forget about that,
So
yeah.
so if anybody's listening to this podcast, they probably figured out that we love our counties.
We do.
love it.
And we
Oh.
love doing business.
And
Small
there's
town.
something for everybody in the county,
Yeah.
right? Because of the different climates that we have, the different things that all the different towns have to offer. You beach, you mentioned it's like a mountain town when you go up to Big Sur, but it's right next to the beach, so that's
Unreal.
a bit strange. You have all these great things, and some affordability sprinkled in some places,
Some
right?
places. You know, actually, Hal, the last time I went to Schooners, I saw you walking out. Do you remember that?
I was walking out.
Probably not.
That's good. Yeah.
Almost. Almost. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I hate to admit this, but and I'll probably lose some clients over this, but I realize I've never been up to Hearst Castle.
Oh, see, that's one of the things
That should. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've
What do you
never been
mean?
to Jocko's,
You've never been there?
but-
Like,
Yeah, you came up with Jocko's first.
I've driven up a little bit. I wanted to pet the zebras and stuff, but I've never actually gone to the castle. I've never been to one of the fundraisers. I've never,
You know, interesting story. My
I'm gonna
daughter.
write it down now.
My daughter, when she was a baby, we got invited through a friend of a friend of a friend. They have a like they were a volunteer at the Hearst Castle, and they got to invite friends to go swim in the Neptune pool.
Wow.
And my daughter was 6 months old, and it was the first pool
Oh my God.
that she'd ever swam in. And we had pictures, and
Wow.
she was too young to remember the coolness of the of that whole thing. And it was like one of those weird late summer nights where the monsoon influence was
Oh,
coming up, so it
geez.
felt like we were in the tropics and we were swimming in this pool
Yeah.
that nobody's allowed to even sniff. I mean, it was quite an experience for us.
Wow.
She's like, oh, you know,
That's about as cool.
the pictures
as it
look
gets.
cool.
Yeah.
So we probably ought to wind up this episode of our podcast. Can I make a comment about our last week's episode?
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, we get feedback, and,
Oh,
and
right.
we're really glad when we get feedback, and some of it's really positive, and some of it's critical, and
Right.
and we love both, by the way, because critical feedback helps us get better. And we received some critical feedback on my talk about leverage
Right.
last week, and I probably didn't leverage the what a complicated issue it is.
Sure.
Probably didn't. I oversimplified it and used some examples that, I thought of fairly quickly. And if I'd have thought them through, I might have used different examples. And so our feedback helped us get better. And just want to acknowledge the people who give us feedback and thank them. And that's how we get better.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We started out as just a bunch of folks sitting around talking about one of our favorite subjects. And all of a sudden, other people are listening in now. And And so, anyway.
Yeah, this was from somebody out of the Northwest somehow that listens to this, but they made a good point. And the point of the feedback was, hey, don't use your house as a piggy bank, irresponsibly, right? And so that has happened, right? And I think what John's doing, John's got 40 years in financial services. He's owned lots of, it can cut both ways, right? But in real estate, it really helps you benefit if you do it properly.
Right.
Well, and we've talked on this episode about why we love our county so much. And one of the reasons I love it is it has allowed me to not be very smart and make money in real estate because this market has made us all look good since the last 70 years.
Yep.
I mean, with a few years as an exception, anybody who got involved in real estate in this county has generated some wealth and Thank the Lord I was born in this county. Thank you to my
Because if we didn't have
parents.
any leverage, we would all be in a much different place.
Oh, sure.
Right? Yeah. So use it wisely, but it's a great tool if you use it properly.
So I just want to thank the person that was giving me some critical feedback. It helped me get better. So thank you.
Absolutely. We welcome it and we appreciate it. And we do the best that we can. We have tons of experience. Hal, JT, you guys have been doing this forever. And with the addition of Bobby, we're doing the best we can with the knowledge that we've got. So.
Context is always important, right?
Yep.
So we'll keep trying.
We'll keep
trying.
giving it a go.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Anybody have anything else? Are we ending today?
No, I want to go get a steak and go to the Hearst Castle.
Yeah, go wine tasting.
That steak might get cold by the time you get to the Hearst Castle.
Come on.
We love our community. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We appreciate you, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah. I want to move to this county now.
Yeah.